welcome back.
Welcome back.
Episode 6.
Yep.
We're happy to have you.
Wow, 6 episodes.
Man, what a journey.
What a journey. Well, last week we talked about
Everything.
Jeez. It's funny too, because we were just talking about when we were in the podcast and we get kind of towards the end of it and we're like, what did we talk about?
What have
for
we
an
talked
hour?
about? How can we circle? Yeah, how can we circle
It's
back?
tough.
Yes. A lot of pressure.
Well, and I think each episode we kind of have an idea of what we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after like 10 minutes, we're like, whatever. We're like, throw that out the window. But that's fun though. I think,
Yeah,
I
of
don't want to take this too seriously.
Right.
But serious stuff, we do have an email now.
Yep. pdExes podcast@gmail.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right in. I know we
Please.
keep saying this a bunch of times, but yeah, right in. We also made it on Apple Podcasts.
I didn't think we were going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
That was
It's
really
not like the
cool.
craziest process in the world, but like,
But
they
it
do-
is.
They do
It is
filter
to-
out podcasts.
When
and,
you see your name on that purple tile,
Yeah.
like my birth name that I don't go by very often, like to see that we have this
right,
special place.
yeah,
It's really cool.
it's pretty neat. We're also on Spotify podcast now,
So no excuses
No
why
excuses.
you can't listen and share.
but also YouTube. I mean, that's where we got the cute video of us looking cute. The nice, cute ass.
If you're on your
Lights.
podcast right now, we did have a little cute.
We did have a little
shoulder moment.
shoulder moment.
shoulder moment.
Yeah, shoulder moment.
Is that the next shirt?
Shoulder moment. Yeah. Just shoulder moment.
And then
God.
someone's gonna go, "What's your shirt
Okay.
mean?" And then you're gonna go like this.
What did you say about? Okay, so Greg and I have a dog, Finn,
Mm-hmm.
cute Boston Terrier, right? And what did you say when you're giving him whipped cream? What did you say that?
So I have always had this inner dialogue in my head about like you talk to a dog. Like, is a dog like French? Like, does the dog understand what you're saying? Right?
Yeah.
Is it going to comprehend that you're telling it to go to its box? Or
Right,
is
right.
it just the volume that's making them go do something? Right. So I always think about like if someone wrote a book from the perspective of like a dog, right? A dog's not going to know what the fuck a pup cup is.
Right.
He's going to know he wants that sweet fluff.
Sweet fluff.
Yes.
That
As a
just-
dog, if I was going through the drive-through, I would know that sweet fluff is coming.
So it's so funny. I love that so much. Sweet
Because
fluff.
to a dog,
Yeah.
it is sweet fluff.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. It's
So
true.
if Finn were to tell you what he wanted, would be like, "Excuse me,
yeah.
Brian, can I have a pup cup?" He's like, "No, bitch, give me that sweet fluff from the little can in the fridge to go, psh, that one, the scared can."
Yeah, we had a cat that used to love the crinkle of like lunch meat.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime you could come home from a trip and he'd be like, "Nah, bitch, fuck you. You were gone for 2 weeks. We're not friends."
Mm-hmm.
And you go in the kitchen, you get that little, and you're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Hey, how? Then the cat has a shoulder moment with you.
Right, a shoulder moment. Yeah.
Hey.
Which is funny. Like
Buddy.
when we were, because we're brother and sister. If you didn't know this by now,
Yes,
we're brother
fuck.
and sister. Alexa, 8 years younger than
Yes.
me. I also have a twin brother. His name is Kevin. And,
Identical twins.
we're
They're
identical
separated by
twins.
2 minutes.
I feel like I am cuter than him. Sorry, Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin.
But I am gay, so that automatically makes me cuter than you.
Oh, that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
So we didn't really preface that. I mean, we kind of did.
We kind of did, but we do definitely want people to know we're brother and
Yes.
sister because,
I guess it's not very often you'd have a conversation with your brother about sucking dick in a parking lot.
yeah,
Right?
like taking loads.
Right, exactly.
But like, who cares?
It's good to have these conversations.
Yeah, why not have these conversations? We're all adults. And we're going to do it anyway, regardless of whether or not you guys are here.
That's true.
We're going to be
still
playing.
gonna, yes.
We're going to be playing Mario Kart till 3 a.m. Oh, bitch! Don't even get me started.
I knew exactly what the fuck he was going to
No.
say.
Don't even get me started about these goddamn Mario Kart levels.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta
let's
go back a
let's
bit.
rewind.
Yeah.
Okay. During the pandemic, I really wanted a Switch
Yeah.
because I wanted to be able to play, from my house and him be at his house. And we just end up really fucking getting competitive. and we'll call each other and we'll be on speakerphone and then we'll play these, video games. And so
the Switch online play has been really fun. A little weird at first because I haven't been able to play online with people for the Switch. I haven't done it. I think you've been able to for a while.
Right.
But yeah, so Nintendo, love Nintendo, but they announced this expansion pack for Mario Kart. And they're like, oh, we're going to have 48 levels and we're going to give you a few here and a few there. And basically, it's going to be.
We were just gassed.
Yeah.
We were like 48 levels. We are going to demolish these.
So excited.
We were talking about doing a tournament where you could play every level, right? You do every level. We're like, oh my God, it's going to take us a couple days, but let's do it.
Now, they're only giving out 8 every who knows, 4 months,
the first
5 months.
article that we read that we can't find anymore. I will tell you that, Nintendo.
I cannot find this article anymore. It had dates and times, and it's basically going to be all other levels coming out within the next year and a half. So the end of 2023.
You got 8 levels every 6 months.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's wild. And the levels aren't even that good.
Right.
So you have to pay the expansion fee of $25 just for that. Or if you're on the already Sega expansion pack, then you get it for free.
But that expansion
that
pack
shit was
trash.
$49 anyway.
And that
you
was
got
trash.
2-ish
you
Sega
don't
games.
know any of the games.
Echo the Dolphin. I remember
that's
that.
the only one.
Sonic, I think you could play.
But it's like Sonic 2. It's not even the original Sonic.
It's just so sad. And all these people are paying their hard-earned money to get a couple Sonic games. So then they come out with the Mario Kart, and I'm like, all right. So excited. We played maybe 2 days, 3 days of these levels and literally have not touched it since then.
You're not wrong.
The quality of the levels, subpar. They have a couple things that they throw in where you doing backwards and forwards and they send you around. I'll give you that. That was kind of cute.
There's 2 levels of the 8.
But
there's 2 of them.
They are so bad. And I am just confused. What in the fuck are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing? Your biggest game company on the planet. It's Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and there's Steam. There's a couple other places, computer games shit. But what? Do you have one guy making these levels?
Game designers shouldn't be able to pick apart these levels. I shouldn't be able to tell you. You took the fucking mall level and you mushed it together with the treetop level.
Right.
And now you have a weird fucking very familiar. It feels very icky. We paid this money for these games and they're just not anything we expected.
I'm not a big fan of this downloadable DLC, downloadable content. Grand Theft Auto is doing this a lot lately where they're not even putting out a new game. It's just online shit.
It's the same thing with
everybody
audiobooks.
loves it. And I'm yes, that's great to tide people over, but you need to make a new goddamn game. Grand Theft Auto, what the fuck? It has been 7 years or whatever. It has been so long. And they just keep putting out the downloadable content. People buy it. Same with Nintendo. You can put out these trash ass levels.
They're bad. We don't mean to take up time out of your
11 minutes
life
talking about this shit.
But if there's anyone out there who plays these games, I hope that you're feeling what we feel and we didn't just ruin your exciting new levels you got. They're terrible.
Yeah, so the problem is we were playing Mario Kart
every night.
Every single night.
A little nightcap.
And we were just man, I wish they would come out with some new levels. And then all of a sudden, hey, new levels. And we were
you're going to
what
get
the
double
fuck?
the levels that you're playing
and
now.
they're like, no, fuck you. You could have 8 levels and they're going to be okay. And I'm like, damn. Just make a new game. Just make a new game. You could have just made a new game.
And then we would have been hyped and we would have paid.
It'd have been brand new. Yeah.
Brand new. Let's do it.
Or just give me more levels rather than 8. And then, come on.
Yeah. If you would have given us 48 subpar levels, at least we would have been too busy to know better.
They would have been oh, damn.
You give me 8 and we're okay. This is the fucking
basic.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just, Sorry, Nintendo. I love you. Please sponsor us. But yeah, like, yo, how many people do you have working on this shit? I get that there's a lot of like research and development and
Right.
testing, all these
Right.
things, but like,
But we should not be able to clock that these games
Yeah.
are so reminiscent of old levels.
right. Yeah. It
Nintendo, we did talk about let me make a level.
Yeah. Make a level
Make
maker.
a challenge
Yeah.
where
we
you
could-
can let us make levels fucking for you since you need
Yep,
help so goddamn
yep.
bad.
I'm sure people would want to help out. Also, why can't we get GoldenEye on the Switch? Can somebody let me know?
on.
Why can't we get a goddamn GoldenEye?
Probably
Can we
copyright.
I know, but like that was the best. Why can't we
Mm-hmm.
have that GoldenEye for the Switch?
That was so good.
Please, a redo. And Shadows of the Empire, the Star Wars game where you had a little jetpack, you were buzzing around.
Yes.
That shit was so good.
I never played it because
It
I
was so good. So, Nintendo, please, better, more frequent levels, please.
more
God,
levels.
And make them a little bit better. GoldenEye on the Switch, please, God. Shadows of the Empire on the Switch also, please. You don't even have to do anything different to this shit. Just put out the same shit. I don't care about the graphics.
Mm-hmm.
You could update the graphics, sweet, but you like don't even have to update anything.
We're not
Just
asking for that.
port that shit over, please. The end.
Thanks for coming to my TED
Thanks
Talk.
for coming to my TED Talk.
How do we segue into
How do we segue?
I mean, we dropped a little hint last time about Bestie Boo in San Diego.
Yeah, that's true.
Our
That's
first
true.
unofficial write-in.
Yep.
Official, unofficial, huh?
Yeah, I
Our
mean,
first official, unofficial
our
write-in.
first non-us story.
Yes. Well, it does still involve
but
us,
it does
though.
involve both of us.
But
yeah.
man, am I
Yeah.
excited to tell this one.
Yeah.
I got a Bestie Boo in San Diego, and I, lived in San Diego for about 7 or 8 months. I moved down there to be with my forever person, and I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah, he's a
and
temporary person.
Mm-hmm. And I try to, live my life now thinking about positives, right? I want to focus about the positives, what we speak, we make real, we speak things into existence. And
Right.
so for me, I truly believe that I went to San Diego to meet this friend and to have,
Yeah.
my bestie in my life. And I'm a phone call person, clearly. Love hearing my own voice. And her and I talked every day throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
And she was a coworker of mine, and she went through some, domestic abuse, and I have that in my past, which, we'll get to that on another episode. And I just remember having this really strong connection with her, and she was one of the only people from San Diego that made an effort to stay in contact.
Dang. Okay. Right.
And, we talk all the time on the phone. And it's one of those things where it's a friendship where it doesn't need a lot of maintenance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I love that because her and I, whether we smoke some weed and we're, watching TV together, air quotes, it's nice just being able to be on the phone with someone, but not be talking, right?
Right.
It's just that companionship, especially because I live by myself, and it was nice to hang out with her. And she was on Bumble and doing online dating, and she matched with this guy who was a police officer.
Yeah.
And they kind of went back and forth and talking. And so this is also something I wanted to bring up about Bumble. After 24 hours, it expires, right?
Right.
So you can see I'm trying to think of the right word. You can see old hit list of all the grayed out photos. And if you
right.
wanted, you could extend that, right? So some guys on the guy's side of everything, they can choose to pay, if I'm not mistaken, to extend the match.
Okay.
So some girls' motives are they will only match with you and let things die to see if you want to match with them back. That's the volley back to matching.
Damn.
So Bestie Boo in San Diego is one of those people. She got no shame with it. She will match someone, and she just if they want to extend it, then we'll talk.
How much are you paying to extend it?
No idea. I'm not on that side. Probably not much. Couple bucks.
yeah.
$5 maybe, or maybe there's a rose.
And
Maybe there's an
your
eraser
friend-
that they're getting on.
Is your friend getting the $5, or is Bumble getting
No,
that?
Bumble's getting it.
Oh, so they're basically just want to see if you're
right. Exactly.
Yeah, if you're touching.
It's just that little. It's that extra little add-on.
Dang,
And
that's wild.
I think so for her. So she matched with this guy, and what should we refer to him as?
It's a cop.
Yeah. So she matched with the cop, and he extended, and he had told her, which now after the fact is questionable, that she was one of the only people that he had ever paid for an extension.
That's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, but now we just know that you can't really trust everything.
First time, never had gay sex. I don't even know what I'm doing.
So they match, and then they talk for about a month, and he's got work stuff, and they are, trying to make dates to see each other, and she's in San Diego, and he's a little further north, so she had to drive to see him. They had to go, meet to go on this date, and I think he canceled the first day for some stupid bullshit, and she was like, fine, whatever, and I think he drove down to see her in San Diego, and they had a date. Everything was super great, and he courted her, and everything was great, and she just was like, oh my God, he's great, and she would drive up to see him, and they'd have spend the night parties and hang out, and it was cute. And then I think for them, the relationship kind of turned when they had been only together for a couple months, and he got COVID.
Oh.
And she was at his place. And so being a good person, can't go to work, right? So then they ended up basically going from casually dating to now we're fucking living together, sharing a bed. Fuck you, you're snoring, blah, blah, blah. Now we're you're in my space. We're breathing the same air. And I told her from that moment, I was like, Ryan has this really lovely analogy about baking a cake when it comes to a relationship.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you're baking a cake and you screw up and maybe you put in salt instead of sugar, or you put in the wrong amount of eggs or whatever, you can spend as much time as you want trying to fix that cake.
Mm-hmm. Or trying to ice that shitty cake.
Trying to ice it or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're going to waste all this time and resources trying to fix some shit that's already fucked up, that you know is fucked up. Mm-hmm. When you could just toss that shit out.
You can taste it. You can taste the salt in the cake. It doesn't matter how much frosting you put on it.
Doesn't matter how much frosting you put on. Doesn't matter how many times you multiply those ingredients again. You fuck that shit up. Mm-hmm. Throw the shit out and start over.
And that's great relationship advice.
Make a new cake.
That's great relationship advice.
Yeah. And maybe you don't want cake. Maybe you thought you wanted cake and you fucked it up and you're like, I'll just get a cookie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with dating and relationships, I think sometimes we spend so much time, for whatever reason, trying to fix a relationship when you should really just be done and move on.
I mean, that was me in San Diego. You get to a certain point where you need to put your own happiness in front of the relationship,
right?
And so I kind of let her know that. And I just was like, you guys don't seem like you're doing great. And then things kind of got weird.
Right.
And I'm trying to think about what it was the first time, because she had a really long drive home, from his house, and she'd go up there and stay with him, and she'd call me on the hour drive home, and we'd chat. And it was really fun because I talked to her on the phone, and he knows our relationship. And so it was cool to get to know him. And we would all talk on speakerphone, and it was fun. And I had, developed this friendship with him. For example, she had to go to the bathroom and we're FaceTiming. And it was the first time I had ever got to talk to just him. And I had to come with the big sister moment. And I just was like, I'm just going to let you know, my dude, I know you don't live close to me. If you hurt her, I will absolutely show up. So remember that. And he was like, okay, I remember. I'll remember. And I was like, don't tell her I said anything. And he's like, okay. And I'd asked her about it later. I'm like, hey, did he tell you anything? And she was like, no, he said that you just had a big sis moment where, he doesn't want to fuck up. Right. Yeah. And I was like, good, because that's true. Just because I don't live next door to you doesn't mean I'm not going to show up and have your back. If someone breaks your heart or you get cheated on or whatever, I'll be there for your friend regardless.
Right.
So basically one day things just kind of got weird. And she took a different highway home than she would normally. And she just was super sunny day. And she wanted to take 101 home, or she wanted to be by the ocean and drive a little different way. And he called her or texted her. And it was something very specific about location, how's the ocean breeze? Oh. And she said that to me. And I was like, how did he know that? That's kind of weird.
You fucked up.
Yeah. And I was like, does he have your location on your phone?
Right.
Or your Snapchat? And so she was like, that's kind of weird. And, they were dating and, were they together or not together? And she's dating other people. And it's it's this whole situation. Right. And, her and the cop had broken up and gotten back together since they had COVID together. And it was a whole messy situation. Right. That cake needed to just get fucking scrapped. And we need to start even with the easy bake, even if it was a downgrade, and we start with the easy bake. You just want to put that cake in and let that fucking light bulb cook it. It's better than what you got now.
Right.
And it started to get really suspect. And it started to be like when she would go hang out or she would go on other dates, he would know immediately.
Weird.
And it was very suspect.
Yeah.
To where I told her, I was like, because I've heard of like men getting caught cheating because it's on they have text on their Apple Watch or there's some kind of weird something, right?
Right.
And I asked her, you know, if she's got her location, like what the fuck is going on? And so then we had to test the theory. So we were testing the theory now. So we had to have her leave her car in strategic places.
Right.
And get an Uber or go do whatever.
Well, because I think you had called me and we were talking on the phone.
Yeah, and I asked,
and
I was like,
just like, I think that it could be a tracker. It could be this. It could be that.
But my original question was, can a police officer track their girlfriend or spouse or whoever? What?
Right.
What's the way to do that?
Yeah,
so I had matched with a random guy on Bumble who was a cop. And I remember talking to him kind of when all of this was happening and we were texting and I was like, hey, can I ask you like a fucking homie question? He was like, yeah, girl, what's up? And I was like, I think my friend's boyfriend is tracking her. What do we do? Like, where can I have her check? Because it was like fucking 12:30 at night and I had this bitch on FaceTime on her stomach with a flashlight under her car, checking her wheel wells, because I'm like, bitch, there's got to be a tracker somewhere.
Right.
Because at that point, it's past, oh, I think you're cheating on me, and it's now, what the fuck is going on? This is like a serious security issue. Right. Couldn't find anything, so I asked the guy, you know, I'm like, hey, like, and he goes, if he's a police officer, he would absolutely lose his job if like he was caught, if there was proof of that. And he goes, to me, no girl is worth me losing like my career that I worked so hard to like be a police officer, right? It was all until the day she fucking found the tracker.
Damn.
It was in her trunk where the spare tire is.
Oh, so like it was in the trunk?
It was in the trunk. I thought when in the trunk. Under where you keep the spare tire, he had thrown a tile tracker in there.
Dang.
And we fucking knew it was his bitch ass because you have to pay to get the tile tracker at a distance.
Oh, right.
So tile works, oh, I lost my keys, and it beeps within, what? I don't know, a mile radius? Who knows? But then it's supposed to beep and alert. So it's this thing about the pack of cigarettes. And I told her, I was like, girl, you could be looking for something the size of a pin. Right. I mean, I love true crime. I'm really fucking into this. I was like, get my CSI fucking gloves out. And I was like, all right, girl, I'm going to walk you through how to do this on the phone.
Right.
And we were like, it's going to be the size of a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And sure as fucking shit. I mean, I still have the picture of it on my phone. I couldn't fucking believe it.
That's wild.
And it was just right there. And I just was like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. And then this wave of uncomfortable, like, oh my fucking God. How long has this been in your car, bitch?
Right. That's pretty scary.
When did he put it in your car? Right. When? And so now all the questions are bubbling. And we had this moment of like, yeah, we found it. Yeah. And we were like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
This is really serious. And of course, this dumb bitch picks it up. And I'm like, no, you want the fingerprints? Leave it.
Right.
At that point, didn't matter.
Right.
And, you know, but that's when the fun starts. Because at that point, you have now showed me you don't trust my best friend. Right. You have now showed her you don't give a fuck about what she's telling you.
Right.
There's no trust.
Right.
Again, you would have been better with that easy bake.
Right.
Than trying to fix that fucking cake.
Man.
And so then we were just fucking with him. Like the best, and she reminded me of this when I called and I was like, girl, like I need the deets. Like we gotta, like I want to make sure that I do this story right, because it was like 6 months of this happening.
Dang.
It was a long time from when we first got a little inkling.
Right.
To like actually finding it.
6 months?
It was like a good 6 months
I didn't realize it was
after
that
she
long.
had COVID.
Wow.
And they were like talking and then they weren't talking. And so it was like back and forth. And it just felt very, you know, it just was like, you know, kind of whatever, just dating. And the best moment was, and I remember because I fucking told her to do it. And she had her ex-boyfriend drive her to work in her car, and he drove her car around all fucking day while she was at work. And she gets a fucking frantic FaceTime call from him, like maybe an hour after she's at work. Hey, what are you doing? She's like, hey, babe, I'm at work. Say hi. Say hi to everyone in the background. She's at work on FaceTime.
Right.
Oh, great. I'm just making sure you're good. I'm just seeing how your day is. That's great, babe. Oh, yeah, we can hang out. Meanwhile, her ex is just fucking rallying her car around. Like, so he's got to be on the fucking phone with her FaceTime while he's watching this tile tracker move. Right. Field day. We were loving it. And so then at this point, we knew the tracker, she could leave the tracker. So then she was leaving the tracker, like, you know, outside of her work in the bushes.
Right.
And driving the car home and calls her late at night. I'm home. What's up? Oh, is everything okay? Because in reality, we had no proof until he wanted to tell us that he did it. Because at that point, it's plausible deniability, right? What are you going to go to a cop and be like?
Well, I think, and that would be my question is like, I mean, you could go and say this is a tracker and they could tell you who it belongs to. But I mean, he could say like, oh, I didn't realize.
It fell out of my bag,
you know,
whatever.
Out, or I didn't know. But like, they could also probably check to see if you're checking where the location is. So, I mean, like, I feel like, yes, you might not be able to prove that, but I also feel like you could say like, yo, this motherfucker put this in here. And you could show that he was continually logging in to check. I'm not a scientist, but
through that membership. Yeah.
I mean,
it was crazy. It was the crazy. And I just like, I never wanted to be right in that instance. Right. Yeah. You know, like I'm looking out for my best friend's safety. We talk about sharing a location. We talk about letting people know where you're at. There's no shame in like going in for a hookup. I mean, I used to call you when I would go do scandalous shit and just be like, hey, Ryan, I'm going to do some hoe shit. Right. I will call you when I have my phone and I can, and then that's great.
And then share your location. Yeah.
It's necessary.
Yep. When you get where you're going, share your location. And you can also do, like, if you're on iPhone, you can do it indefinitely. You can do for the day. You can do for an hour. So, I mean, if you're worried that, you know, you're going to share it for a long time, I mean, you could just do it temporarily. Share the location.
Better safe than fucking sorry, for sure.
Yep.
And that kind of went on for a while. And like she had parked, you know, initially she had parked at his house. She had parked at like an ex-boyfriend's house, and he like knew she was there. And that was when I was like, you got to find this. Like the jig is up, bitch.
Did she ever go and report him?
So basically, as a Pisces, she needed to have that, you know, closure with him.
Right.
And I think she told him that they were going to like meet and go on a date or whatever, hung out. And she basically like confronted him. Right. And was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Because I told her if you press the tile button, it's going to make his, you know, it works reverse if I'm not mistaken. So it should alert that it's his phone. He's lucky she didn't listen to me because I told her to go leave it at his fucking job.
Yeah. I mean,
go leave it at the police station.
Obviously,
in the bushes
we want to
outside.
assume, you know, the positive intent,
No.
maybe it fallen out. But I mean, it gets to a point when, you know, you can tell that he's checking, hey, what's going on? Logging in.
And she has the text receipts. Hey, how's the ocean air? Like, where are you? There's.
And just from a human right, privacy, like nobody should be spying on your location. Nobody should be able to like leave some shit in your car and like track your location without your permission. No way. Know how. So like the fact that he was doing this for so long, such a violation.
And we don't even know how long it was.
Yeah.
That's nothing. So he owned up to doing it. He said that he did it. He was also very, very appreciative of the fact that she didn't take it to his job.
Right. Well, I mean, duh.
Right.
Like, oh, thanks, babe, for turning me in.
Thanks for not throwing me in fucking jail because I'm a terrible fucking person and abusing my privileges. And, you know, it was.
It's also tough, though, when you like, I mean, everyone would probably say, like, oh, she should have turned him in. But, you know, you fucking with the police, retaliation. It starts to turn into a whole
she cared
thing.
About him at,
and,
on a human level.
I could see people fucking up or whatever. So, I mean, I can understand, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's just kind of wild. You gotta check your shit. You gotta check your car. You gotta be careful, you know, like, you shouldn't be paranoid, but you just have to be getting a flashlight, running around your car looking for trackers.
I had basically said it as a kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Like I wanted it to be a joke, but then once she actually found it and she called me and she was like, bitch, I fucking found it.
That's wild.
I couldn't believe it.
That is wild.
And I was so like, fuck yeah. And then I was like, oh my fucking God, how long has this been happening?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And I could see, like, I have the Apple AirTags, have one in my car and stuff like that. But that's just more for me, so I know where my shit is at. When you start
violating someone's privacy. You didn't get into their car. Hey, I'm going to get, let me make sure your spare tire has air in it.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
She's not going to know how to get in here. And it was just like so uncomfortable. And, obviously they're not together. That relationship was not great for her. And I think it gave her some good insight on like privacy.
Yep.
And
trust, privacy, should be with somebody that trusts you. And, I think there's some safety benefits, and you're just like, oh man, I got to make sure that this bitch's car doesn't get, whatever. But like, that should be a conversation you have with that person. Like, hey girl, I'm worried that your car might get stolen. Let's put a tracker on it. And you're like, okay, that sounds great. And he's like, well, I'm going to be able to see where you're
let's have a tile.
I'm going to be able to see where you're at. Is that okay? And then she should be able to consent to that.
Right. Consent is important.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that the benefit of this conversation is you got to be aware of those cues. Sometimes it's nice to take a different way home, mix it up. If you suspect anything, call a friend.
Right.
There is no shame in, feeling like that, because you got to trust those instincts. A lot of times it's right.
And don't feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest hurdle, at least maybe for a woman.
Right.
Is I don't want to look stupid. I don't want people to, and that's never I don't want to say that's never the case, but there are people who give a shit about you.
Yeah.
And I can tell you in moments where I was panicked, being able to call you or being able to call someone. Like there are people I work with that are underage and they know to fucking call me. Like you can call your mom and your dad, but like you call me, I will ride for you.
Yeah. I tell
always
people that
say
all the time.
that.
Yeah. If you need a ride, just let me know. Give me the option. If I can't come get you, I can work something out.
Right.
Because I'd hate to have somebody drink and drive or get in a situation where they're unsafe, where they have to go home with somebody because they can't get a ride. Like, and I think we all need to kind of watch out for our friends and make sure we take care of people. But yeah, I mean, those are the types of red flags that we were talking, hey, how's the ocean drive? You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, how do you know that I'm here? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to drive a different way home.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But it is nice. Just, switch it up. You should just kind of switch up your drive to work anyway. I think routine, can sometimes be carelessness where we're not paying attention. We just got to be a little bit more on guard. Somebody thinks you're cute and want to follow you around or put a tracker or a tile in your spare tire. That might not be great.
That's a no from me, dog.
Yeah.
That's a no from me, dog.
Yeah. Well, Greg has had people come to his work, because on the dating apps, it does the location.
Yes.
So you can kind of get an idea of where somebody's at. And especially if
on Hinge, it tells you my neighborhood.
Yeah. And so he had somebody, I can't remember all the details, but he had somebody that would like show up to his work and, and you're just like, what the fuck? And it gets a little scary. I mean, I think everybody's like, oh, a stalker. Oh my God, I'm so popular.
Oh no.
But
I mean, that's a real thing.
Yeah. It's like, oh fuck.
Reaching. We'll probably do a full episode on OnlyFans and talk about, all of that. I have friends that, are absolutely terrified of being stalked from that, that don't want to use don't want to say their name on the phone because they're so scared someone's going to follow them.
Yep. And, and I think most people generally are going to be okay. It's when people aren't okay when it gets crazy.
Right.
You can have a conversation with somebody and be so in love and everything's going great. And then something happens and all of a sudden the mental health or something happens and you're just like, oh fuck. Now
you could be at lunch, drinking a beer flight, making out, and then that motherfucker is trying to strangle you on the drive home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or 6 months later,
and I think
showing
the
up
thing
at your
here
work.
that we got to nail down is in those instances, it's okay to say no.
Right.
Imagine how different this whole situation would have been had I not told him no and went up and stayed the night with him the night before. I am a hoe. I'll sleep with you. I got no, there's no shame, right? But for me, I said no because it's a safety thing.
Yeah.
Second date is a date.
Yeah.
Plus, hours away.
Yeah. Yeah. Away from friends and family.
I always try to imagine myself, who am I going to call? Like, am I going to want to call my brother at 1 a.m. in Seattle when I'm in tears because, you know, I got left outside of the car, whatever. Like, I always kind of put myself, and I'm older now, so I like know, well, I'd like to think I know a little better, but I still ended up in Seattle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we talked about this before, but you know, it's easy to trust people. Mm-hmm. You get that false sense of security, and then sometimes some shit just happens and people go kind of off the rails. Mm-hmm. And it's tough because you want to trust people, you want to believe people are good, but you know, people use that trust. We, you know, on the My Favorite Murder, we always listen to somebody, you know, write in about some crazy story where they're like, oh, I had a piece of paper on my back window, or this thing happened, and I looked down and there was a dude next to my door waiting for me to open this shit up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, it's trusting your instincts, being aware, just kind of always kind of got your hand on the pepper spray. Maybe I might need to use it. You know what I mean?
Our mom used to always tell me, don't ever look like a victim.
Right.
You know, she always told me, one of the most powerful things I think I've learned over the last couple of years is understanding body awareness and understanding your own body language.
Yep.
And how you carry yourself as a woman is very important. Do not be on your phone when you are walking to and from places.
Right.
Do not be on your phone when you walk into a room. They say that there's something incredibly powerful about a woman who walks into the room and commands a space and isn't on their phone and digging through their purse or whatever. You know, I don't ever, when my best friend moved to New York, I told her, don't be a victim. Don't make yourself look like you are not paying attention. You know what I mean? Victim by way of like being a victim. I mean, don't like make yourself seem susceptible to having someone steal your purse or be aware.
Eyes up. Yeah. And I you know, I think it's just society. I mean, I don't think it's ever gotten really, really good.
No.
But
that's just like there are little things you can keep in your back pocket. Like as a woman or anyone, if someone is following you, the one thing that I learned was you got to turn around and ask them what time it is.
Right. Ooh, that's good.
Because I need to know what time it is. I want you to see that I now know what your face looks like.
Right.
And I want you to know that you're close enough to me that I can fucking hear that you're following me. What time is it?
Right. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
I got followed. Living in Portland, you know, if you don't have a parking space, I used to have to walk to my car. And we have a couple cars that are parked out in front of our apartments that have spots, and then everyone else basically street parks. And that's just kind of city living. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Learn how to parallel park. It's very necessary.
Yeah.
Parallel park both directions for a one-way street. Because I saw a girl the other day that was really struggling going the other side on a one-way. And I was like,
that's true.
You probably don't practice that very often.
Yeah.
I was like, welcome to Portland.
Yeah.
I was leaving to go do some hoe activities. Probably like, no, I can tell you the honest time. I was leaving to do some hoe activities at about 10 after 11.
Right.
And I know this because I was leaving and a guy pops his head up from my neighbor's really nice car that's parked out in front of our apartment. And I didn't flame him or come hard with anything because it could have been my neighbor's friend. It could have been a mechanic.
Right.
I didn't know who it was. But as I was walking out of my apartment, I basically startled this person. And I want to say I had a headphone in. And he said something. And I was like, oh yeah, no big deal. Because I didn't know the situation, right? As I get a couple steps away, I realize he's casing the cars. He's like looking in the cars to see what we have in there. And now I can hear him following me. So I'm about halfway down the block and I can still hear his backpack and the shoes behind me. In that moment, I knew that I didn't want to make myself a victim.
Right.
So he actually asked me what time it was.
Oh, yeah. I hate when people do that.
And I didn't want to give him an immediate time.
Right.
And I had just looked. I knew it was like a little bit after 11. I just sent that I'm on my way text, a little winky face. Be there in a minute. And he was like, what time is it? And I was like, it's a little after 11. And then once he continued to follow me, I crossed the street and stood with my back to an apartment door with a light above me and just stood and was just on my phone and watched him walk across from me, kind of linger across the street. He sits down at the picnic table and my car is past him down 2 blocks over. So there's no way for me to leave that situation till Home Slice leaves.
Right.
And so I'm basically just sitting there. And then as I'm sitting there, I text my neighbor, hey neighbor, And I didn't even really think the guy following me was that big of a deal.
Right,
like that
right,
wasn't
right,
the issue. The issue was, hey, neighbor, can you go check the cars and make sure that, everything's Gucci out front
Right,
and make
right.
sure no one's missing anything because he's right here if anything's missing. And I want to say like 10 minutes went by and then finally the guy left and I was able to like walk around and get in my car and
Dang.
that happened twice.
Dang.
Twice someone tried to follow me to my car and it's just awareness, right? If I would have been on my phone or scrolling on fucking TikTok, I could have walked right up to my car and he could have come up behind me, grabbed my bag, whatever, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know. And, it's just about.
Do you do like pepper spray? Do you have
So
like...
here's my beef with pepper spray. There are so many ways for it to fuck up.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Pepper spray, it can expire to where it's not going to fire.
Right.
You can use all of it. Like I had friends, like I gifted a pepper spray to my friend who moved down here in college and she was the fucking most naive bitch. And I just was like, girl, you need to fucking like, not everyone is your friend.
Right.
A very, very good lesson. Not everyone is your friend. Just because someone is nice doesn't make them your friend.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it appropriate for you guys to be friends.
Right.
And I had got her pepper spray and the guy she was dating, they were like messing around with it and like trying it and like messing around, right? So it's like, does that have it in there for when you need it? Pepper spray you can pepper spray yourself in the face.
Yeah.
You can get downwind. You can now make yourself a victim by using pepper spray.
Right.
My biggest things that I find security in myself, because that's the biggest thing with whether you have a stabby cat on your keychain or a taser, because those are like my two favorites.
Yeah.
The intent is never to have to fucking use them ever.
Yeah.
The intent is never that you're ever going to have to fucking use it, but it gives you the confidence. So in those moments, you know that you have a way of defending yourself.
Right.
Just like in that moment, I knew in that car that I needed to click my seatbelt to get out if that was the circumstance.
Right.
So I have a really cute, for a girl from Portland, a little local girl makes this cute little, it's a Ouija board thing, but it's a stabby cat. And so I'll stab the shit out of you. So the idea with that is when you use it and you walk with it in your hands, if you come to grab me, I'm going for your stomach or I'm going for the meat of your leg. Right. I'm not trying to go for your eyes. I'm trying to get you to let go of me. And I don't want to have to bite you because if you come at me with anything, right? These are all fucking things you have to think about as a woman.
That's wild. Yeah.
I had,
well, I guess men too, but like men, I think kind of don't think about it. You know what I mean?
But
I think women.
I had a conversation with a guy and he kind of put things in perspective about men and women. And he goes, me as, he's older dad.
Right.
And he goes, me walking down the street, he goes, you and the other bartender are both women, right? You guys could walk behind me. There's not a fucking thing you could do or say to me that's going to make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, true.
And he was like, but as a woman, you could pull any two men out of this place. It doesn't matter who they are, gay, straight, doesn't matter. And if you were walking down the street and you had two men behind you, you're immediately going to go into a cold panic sweat.
Yeah.
They could not even be talking about you. They couldn't even know you're there. They could be a gay couple going to dinner. The last thing on their mind is you in front. But as a woman, you're on
high alert.
Yep. You get the little heckles raised up. My big thing is a taser. I am a fan of a taser. Again, you should not have to use it. It is to scare someone.
Yeah.
So when I left a job super, super late in downtown Portland at like 1:30 a.m., my boyfriend had gifted me a mag flashlight that when
boyfriend at the time.
Let me preface.
Yeah.
I am
single. Bitch is single.
And ready to fucking mingle. And so it's this mag flashlight, and when it's forward, it's just a flashlight. So he's like, hey, at night, when you're walking to your car, you have a flashlight.
Right.
But if you pull back and press the trigger, it clacks, and it's a taser. And people are like, oh, a taser isn't going to do anything. Right. The intent is that it shouldn't have to do anything.
Right.
So I leave work. Someone's following me. I can hear footsteps. It's downtown, though. It's late at night. No big deal. I make a cross. I jaywalk. You can still hear footsteps. I'm like, okay, whatever. No big deal. I'm in like by the college.
Right.
Walk around. And this is like this is the one thing. Parking downtown is wild. I'm parking like half a mile away from my work.
Dang. Yeah.
And so I cross, and I'm trying to lose the person behind me because I can hear footsteps. And I cross through a parking lot, like a underground parking lot, cross through. I'm on the other side of the street. I get ready to turn down an alley. I can still fucking hear the same footsteps. So my mag flashlight, I pull the trigger back and I hold it out to my side and I go clack, clack. And I turn the flashlight back on and I keep walking, and there were no more footsteps behind me. That is how you use a taser if you can. Tasers are preventative.
Wow.
Tasers are, I'm going to fucking tase you if you touch me. I didn't have to say anything. But in that moment, I knew I at least had something to offer myself an out.
Right.
Some kind of protection.
Damn, that's crazy.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
That's like people who, you know, if you go to get, you know, there are people who get kidnapped and, you know, no victim shaming or anything because that does happen. And people, you know, are always like, could have done something different. And there's nothing wrong if, you know, you're fight or flight and you just kind of, you know, in that moment. But I've had enough, you know, moments in my life where I have learned that I'm going to fight you for fucking sure.
Dang, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I that makes more sense.
Yeah, and so people want to talk shit about tasers, like, you know, pepper spray. It's just about having something that gives you that inner badass.
Well, yeah, you're kind of right with the pepper spray. It could fail. You're in a situation where
you can't see, you can't taste, you can't hear because you just fucking maced yourself.
Right. Or you go to use it and
it's out.
And now you have nothing.
I hope that you guys at home have a couple different things you can.
Options. Yes. My friend says he has a taser like under the seat of his car.
I have a taser with a lanyard, and I move it from work bag.
He's like, I have it in case I need it, and he's like, I hope I don't need it, but it's there. So now I got to go get a taser because that sounds,
taser. You got to have something on your keys, you know,
just in case, because
it's necessary.
Better to have it, not need it.
Yes,
than to need it, not
better
have
safe than sorry. I feel like again, it's going to be a reoccurring mantra.
Well, that's wild.
Mm-hmm. If you got any, you know, for everyone out there, whether you're a male or female, just make sure, you know, you have self-awareness.
Yep. And let us know if there's something you recommend, if there's a brand you recommend.
Actually, now that I think about it, another thing I have on my keychain is called She's Birdie. And it is a alarm that if I'm not wrong when I say this. She's Birdie is a women-owned brand.
Okay.
And it is it's an alarm. Okay. It's a personal alarm. It's on your keychain. And when you break that seal, it is a super fucking loud siren and a light. So the idea with that is if you can, you're pulling it and you're throwing it.
Right.
So that is at least alerting the people around you. She's Birdie's another one. I got one from my...
How are you spelling this?
She's, SHE''S,
okay.
Birdie, BIRDIE.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's this, and the reason why I love this company so much was my best friend was an activist in New York when all of the Black Lives Matter was really, really taking the streets. And she was actually one of the people who was stuck on the Brooklyn Bridge that she couldn't leave.
Yeah.
She had, you know, a Black boyfriend and she felt very passionate about being out there and using her voice. And he got snatched by one of the cops and they had him by the collar and she ran over and it was a tussle and then they got away and ran and it was like, could have been a movie. And I reached out to this company and they did like a buy one, get one half off or some kind of deal. And I said, hey, my best friend is taking the streets in New York for everything that's happening right now. Is there any way that I can split the shipment and I can have one in Oregon and you can send one to her in New York? And the owner of the company wrote me back and she said, we are overnighting this to your best friend in New York. Tell her we said thank you for everything that she's doing. And we hope that this can give her some safety when she's out there.
Wow, that's
it was really cool. And I have a couple girlfriends that have them.
Right.
It's on your keychain just in case.
Yeah.
You know, the thought is not having to fucking use it.
Right.
But
no, I mean, you're speaking some truth. I mean, I wouldn't even think about it. And I think it's the times you need it where you're like, oh shit, I wish I had a thing, you know,
so if you're out there,
you're vulnerable.
Check that pepper spray.
Yeah.
Buy a couple, you know, there are so many cute independent people, local people that sell cute little things for your keychain.
Also,
things you can have in your car.
Check your fire extinguishers.
Ooh, yeah.
I know we don't talk about it much. Check your fire extinguishers. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher in your house that you
and
checked
there are different ones for different things. Yeah. Did you know this?
Yeah, there's like a cooking one.
Yes.
I mean, there's like, if you have a beeping ass smoke detector in your apartment or house right now.
That's the biggest fucking turn off.
Bitch, change that shit.
And also, just so you know, I don't think that smoking weed is going to make your fire alarm go off. So, like, if you don't
it
have your
could,
alarm,
yeah, but like
it would take you'd have to be Snoop Dogging it up in your house.
everyone should have a fire extinguisher
Yes.
in your bedroom. I was watching some TikTok or some video, and the guy said, like, if you wake up and there's fire, where are you going to do? Where are you going to find the goddamn, you're going to run out in the kitchen? No, you should have one in your room, which I don't think I do. But yeah, make sure you have the smoke detectors. Make sure you have the carbon monoxide.
Yes, that one's very important.
That one's great as well, because if you have a leak in something, you'll literally just die.
Yes.
Because you won't smell the gases. You want you to literally to die. And just make sure you have fire extinguishers.
But also know that certain things are covered if you rent.
Yeah.
If you rent, like you are a tenant, so all of these things should already be done for you. Yep. So make sure that we're just here to share some information.
Yeah, but I don't think people think about it. Even at your work, I have a challenge for you. When you go into work tomorrow, see where the fire extinguishers are. Mm-hmm. See where your emergency exits are. Mm-hmm. Just have a look-see. Mm-hmm. Because my friend and I at work, we were doing a little safety video, and we were thinking about where all the fire extinguishers are and smoke detectors and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, oh shit, we got one there. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know we had one there. Mm-hmm. Oh crap. And like, if you can like kind of not even remember when you are just chilling at work, mm-hmm. how the fuck are you going to remember when there is some shit going on if you don't even know when there's not shit going on?
You're just creating healthy wiring in your brain,
You should go like, oh shit, mm-hmm. I'm cooking. There's a fire on the stove. I need to grab this thing mm-hmm. to put it out. Not, I'm going to take the pan over to the sink, or, I'm going to do mm-hmm. this. Like, you should just already kind of know those game plans just so you're prepared. Mm-hmm. Especially if you live in like a second story, mm-hmm. you need a ladder. You just like, it doesn't seem like you'll need it. And
until you need it.
And people might be like, oh, you're such a dumbass. Like, make fun of you. Like, fuck them. Because the last thing you need is to be waking up.
There's no such thing as being too prepared.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as being too prepared.
Yeah. But yeah. Taser. Check your pepper spray.
Yep.
Smoke detectors.
Mm-hmm. Something on your keychain.
Yep.
Some kind of stabby something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And hopefully you won't need it. But I mean, if you have some other suggestions too, please, again, reach out. Mm-hmm. Let us know. We can share it to people. Mm-hmm. If there's any brands that you think are really passionate,
any stories?
We'll try to pop some links into these videos and try to update them as info comes in. But yeah, learned a lot today. I didn't think, I never really think I'm going to learn a lot.
It's not just period talk. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not just period talk here on pdExes.
Yeah. I'm still kind of shocked that girls have basically 2 weeks of
normalcy.
Yeah. Normal, non-period body stuff. Mm-hmm. That's wild. I'm learning a lot.
I didn't know that guys like getting dick pics as much as they like sending them.
Yeah. Well, gay men do. I would think so. I don't know. Ask around. I can't be the main gay, but you know,
now.
I am now. Yeah.
That's why you're here listening.
Yeah, and I guess you can send me dick pics if you're cute. I guess.
Don't solicit that. You're
but
a married
I don't
man.
know. Yeah,
you're a married man now.
I'm really not on a lot of the apps anymore. I mean, here and there to kind of chat with friends,
right.
But it's just too busy. I got to edit these videos.
Podcasting, it's hard work.
Somebody's
got to do it. Yeah. Not me.
But yeah, I think that's it. For the episode. What, number 6?
Fuck.
Dang. Hopefully we'll be like, man, 100 episodes.
I know. I was going to say, well, you jumped to fucking triple digits? I was like excited for double digits, bitch. I'm like, imagine when we get to 10, Ryan's over here like, imagine when we have 100 episodes.
If we did an episode a week, that'd be like, what, 2 years worth? 100, you know what I mean? Like, that's a long ass time. That would be wild.
We're in for the long haul.
Long haul, yeah. And every time we're like, are we going to have enough shit to talk about? And then go on these crazy long hour tangents of crazy, cool, fun, enlightening, sad, depressing, but funny.
Yeah, got to have a little bit of the fun. Yeah. It's got to be funny.
We can't always be funny. And we have to talk about, uncomfortable shit. But I think uncomfortable
we're here to tell you the real life stories.
Yeah, talking about a bitch might need a taser,
Today Ryan learned he needs a taser.
I need to go get a taser. Mm-hmm. because I might need one.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I don't accidentally tase myself.
Nah, it's not that hard.
Yeah. I need like a baby taser. No, I need like a big fucking... Bzz. We'll see.
We'll start him with something moderate so he doesn't fucking tase himself.
Hopefully I'll never need it.
Nah, you.
But, but in those situations
Better
where
safe than
like,
sorry.
someone run up on your car or some dumb shit's going to happen. What the fuck am I going to do?
Or think
Throw a
about
fucking mask at
what if
him.
what if someone got in your car with you? Drive.
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Not to leave you on that scary fucking
No,
thought.
that's true though. I mean, then I'll be like, oh, hold on. I need to get my inhaler. Bzz. At least you got something.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we're here to just get you thinking.
Yeah. Enjoy going back into work after your lunch break. Thank you for spending it with us.
Yes. And find those fire extinguishers.
Eyes up. Find those fire extinguishers. Hopefully you won't ever need them, but they're there. But yeah, that's it for our episode. Have fun doing whatever the rest of your day is going to be like.
If you have a moment and you want to leave a review and give us, I'd like to say 5 stars.
I'd like to say 5 stars.
I would really like to say 5 stars. However,
if
we
it's
need
going
to
to be
humble
less than
ourselves,
5,
okay?
let us know.
But know that, we're just in our baby stages.
We don't know what we're doing. We kind of know what we're doing, but we also don't know what we're doing.
But in all seriousness, a 5-star review bumps our podcast up, and we want to be top 10 in our
category. I think it's like relationships or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it.
That's it. Give your dog some sweet fluff.
Sweet fluff.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.